Hello, my sunbeams. I am excited this week to share with you one of the most powerful metaphors that I ever came across that really helped to put things in perspective and ease the suffering. Okay, so as you know, my approach with this channel, with these teachings and these workshops, is I am trying to get you to understand the basic distortion, error, mistake that humans make that cause us to have an everyday experience of suffering. And I want to teach you how to undo that mistake, how to shift your experience away from suffering. That's it. I don't think that you need to attain, or at least most of us don't need to attain enlightenment, or we don't need to know the absolute details of how the universe works, or we don't have to figure out how to achieve miracles in life. We can, but all of those things are not needed in order for suffering to end. And that's why the name of chapter 4, we're working on chapter 4 today, is How Are You? How is your experience right now? And that's important to know. So, the reason why I want to focus on the how is because you have to find the place inside of you that is fine. That is, fine is a simple word, but it's beyond fine. It is perfect. It is content. There is no greater perfection than contentment. And contentment in and of itself is bliss. So you have to find the part of yourself that is bliss. Why? Because you know what? It is possible to work a miracle and attain healing and still be live in anxiety. It is possible to manifest and something fantastic and still be negative, fearful, sad, whatever. It is possible to change every single detail of your life. It is possible to learn every single thing there is to learn, and have every psychedelic experience there is to have out there, and still have a day to day experience, moment to moment, of not bliss, whatever that is, whether it's worry, fear, anxiety, anger, depression, grief, resentment. Did I say anger? Whatever. And what is the point of all of this if the experience, if your life, your moment to moment life is not the awareness of your truest, highest nature? Aren't you wasting potential? Or the very least, aren't you suffering? Let's just use the term suffering, right? So I want you to really explore how you are. If I ask you now, how are you? You will tell me any number of different things. But if we analyze it, remember this is a journey we're on. We've been talking about what you are and who you are, and we know that you're spirit and you're not your body. You're experiencing your body for a while, and you're not your mind. You use and identify with your mind on occasion. So you are the thing before that. You are spirit before that. So when I ask you, how are you? If we really analyze it, whatever you say, like I'll say, um, how are you? And you say you're anxious. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. The thoughts in your mind are anxious and they're generating a sensation in your body that is anxious. But are you anxious? Right? Um, I whatever else. If you say you're um you're in pain, no, your body is in pain and your mind is aware of the fact that you are in pain. Um, you're worried. No, your mind is worried because you carry the emotional trauma of something bad that has happened and you're projecting it into the future about the fact that it may happen. So when you remove all the answers to the question, how are you? All the answers that are associated with the mind, the body, and the emotions, all of which are temporary experiences in you. Then what is left? What is left? Are you even able to remove that? You should be and you will be. This is the journey I'm taking you on this. I'm going on this journey with you of getting to the point where you can realize that all of these other things are happening like clouds in the sky. The bridges to being at the end of this chapter is about the clouds in the sky and understanding that your nature is not one and the same as your experiences. That is such a powerful thing to understand. So, how do we understand what our nature is? The simplest activity to do this is the experiencing being meditation, which I've already posted that. That's in chapter 1 or something. And I recommend that you do that every day, because what I'm saying will become easier and easier to grasp as an experience, not as a knowledge or a concept or a theory, but as an experiential truth, the more you do that meditation. At the end of chapter 3, I also did the I am meditation, which is really more of an I am contemplation. It's the understanding that your state, your I am, is the same in every single state. So 10 years ago, when you say I am, there's a certain awareness, right? A certain reality. And today, if you say I am, that same reality is there. And in the future, in any scenario that you imagine, when you say I am, that does not change. The I am is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It does not change. So, what does this mean? How do you experience this? You have to become aware of the I am feeling inside of you. The I am is okay. So we've understood that you are spirit, and that spirit is living in the body and the mind. If I ask you feel the mind, feel the body, there it is. If I ask you feel the mind, you're like, yep, that one thought, next thought, other thought. If I ask you identify emotions, you're like, okay, emotion, 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 got it. But if I say find your spirit, feel your spirit, experience your spirit, can you do that? Um, Probably not right now, but you can by following the I am sensation. And this is the part that I really love. The I am sensation is the feeling of your spirit existing. Sure. Um, it's difficult to grasp this when you see things like spirit, spirit world, dimensions, lokas, whatever. So let's use a metaphor that we can grasp. Let's use the metaphor of a dream. Okay. Let's say that your spirit, um, let's call it spirit, like the name spirit. Hey, spirit. Your spirit goes to sleep. Let's say your spirit is a person, and your spirit goes to sleep, like on a bed, falling asleep, dreaming, and your spirit dreams that it is you. Um, let's use the name Mary, right? So your spirit is dreaming that it is Mary, and it is dreaming all of the details of Mary's life. So it is dreaming Mary's body, it is dreaming Mary's backache, it is dreaming Mary's emotions, it is dreaming Mary's fears, none of which is not valid. Your spirit chose to have the experience in this dimension for now of what it's like to be Mary. But Mary, in order to really experience what Mary is feeling, your spirit becomes Mary. So you're Mary now, Mary living, does not say, gosh, my name is Spirit, and I sure love being Mary. This is fun. No. Mary believes that all there is Mary. Mary has completely forgotten that Spirit exists. And you're not really supposed to remember. Nobody's saying, find enlightenment, go find Spirit, cease to be Mary. That's not a solution. You have to live as Mary because that's what you came to do. But you have to remember to detect that Spirit exists. How do you detect that Spirit exists? Well, what is the consciousness, the experience of Spirit? Go back now to Spirit, who is sleeping on a bed with a pillow and is like dreaming of Mary. Spirit experiences Mary by saying, I am Mary. Right? So, Spirit's awareness is, I am. I am here. I am now. I am this. Whatever is occurring, I am the one who's experiencing that. I am. So inside of Mary's heart, deep, deep, deep in her heart, she can remember, she can detect, she can sense spirit when she senses I am. Because I am is not when you don't add something to it. This is why we say don't judge, don't label, don't describe, don't resist, right? When you say I am weak, I am strong, I am sick, I am sad, right? Those are temporary experiences. And those are the things that are happening to Mary. But no matter what happens in this world, when Mary's a child, when Mary's an old lady, when Mary's sick, when she's healthy, no matter what happens, spirit inside of Mary, Mary's consciousness, Mary's eternal being is experiencing I am. I am. It's not experiencing any noun, adjective, adverb at the end of I am. It is just experiencing I am. I am. I am. I am. Only Mary identifies with the temporary because Mary's nature is temporary and her interests are temporary. So she goes, oh, I am exhausted. But when you go inside and inside and inside and inside and you still yourself and you find the I am, then you find, I am. While Mary is exhausted over here, oh, I'm so tired. Mary's exhausted. Inside, spirit's experience, spirit's consciousness is I am. Spirit is not tired. The one who is dreaming is not tired. It is dreaming of Mary's tiredness, right? So remember, this is a metaphor. I'm using a metaphor that you and I can understand as human beings, which is a metaphor for dream. But it's the closest we can really grasp to what I'm actually saying, which is there is a dimension called spirit. And there's an eternal, vast, complete being and consciousness called spirit. And it is in this one spot called you. And so the dream is just a metaphor for that, right? And what I'm trying to say is that the I am inside is unchanging. It is, even to say it is well, is still an adjective and a temporary adjective, you know? So like if you have a car and you say the car is undented, that is still a state that can change, you know what I mean? You dent the car, there you go. It's not undented anymore. So even the state of I am good or I am excellent or I am joyful or whatever is still temporary. The state of the spirit inside of you is just simply I am. It is complete. It is not wanting anything. I know in the book I use joy. That's a different thing. Joy refers to the fact that it is not lacking anything and therefore is not unhappy, right? But just I don't want to cause confusion with that. So why is it important to understand this state of I am? Because everything else is an illusion, not an illusion. It is a non-permanent truth, right? This is why I love the metaphor of the sky and the clouds. The cloud is not an illusion. You're not going to go, la, 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 there's no cloud, I don't see a storm. No, it is not an illusion, but it's not a reality. The cloud is a thing that it forms, it exists for a moment, and it disappears. If the cloud formed, it will unform. If the cloud came, it will go. Therefore, it is not forever, and therefore it is not an ultimate reality. So it is a passing temporary thing. And when you can understand that, then you can understand what you're doing here. You're here to experience stuff. I hope that's making sense. You're here to experience things and to feel them. That's important. Remember, we talked about how pain bodies are formed when you don't allow the emotion to be experienced and it gets stuck inside of you. But you also have to remember that the one who is experiencing is fine. that there's nothing wrong with your actual being. And you came from a place where you will fully remember that and fully experience that, and you're going back to a place where you're going to fully remember and fully experience that. So we were having a workshop recently. We were talking about pain bodies, traumas, the effect of trauma, and you know, strong emotions on life. And we were talking about what happens to the mind and that kind of stuff. And one person asked, what is the effect of all of this traumas on spirit? And the thing that you have to understand is that the effect is zero, nothing, nothing. No matter what occurs in the dream that Mary of Mary's life, spirit is absolutely unharmed, right? If Mary has, if Mary sprains her ankle, spirit unharmed. If Mary breaks her leg, spirit unharmed. If Mary, and again, it's a metaphor, please excuse my graphicness, but if Mary has to have her leg amputated, clean cut, it's just worst case scenario, could not be worse. Spirit is unharmed. The one laying in the bed having the dream is not now an amputee, is not wounded, is not injured, is not limping. It doesn't limp, right? Now, again, this is an oversimplification of what's happening in order to help you to understand, but what you are is not permanently damaged by anything, by any experience. So even if something gives you PTSD or complex PTSD or anxiety or OCD or fears or paranoia, whatever it is an experience that your mind and your body are experiencing, a disease, if you will, right? It is a limp. The mind now has a limp. The emotions have a limp, but you do not. And why is this important beyond just interesting theory? It's important because it is possible for you to remember this. It is possible for you to, in stillness, go inside, surrender your awareness of being Mary for 5 minutes. Stop thinking about Mary's life. Stop thinking about Mary's, where she lives, how she feels, how her body aches, whatever. Put aside Mary for a moment and just go and be I am. I am. I am. I am. And recognize that I am is not changed. And it is not changeable. Knowing that you're not changeable removes all fear. Knowing that you're not harmable removes all anxiety. Knowing that you are well and cannot be weller removes all desires, which therefore removes all lack, which therefore removes all longing, like, oh, I wish I had. It removes all of that. And then you become stillness, absolute stillness. And when you come out of that state and you come back and you're like, oh, I'm Mary, I got to go to Mary's job and take care of Mary's kids. You do it from wellness. You do it from contentment. You do it from lack of fear of anything. And you just have experiences. One experience, next experience, okie dokie experiences. And you learn from the experiences and you try to change the nature of what the details of life circumstances, but you don't get emotionally trapped, or your state of being is not held hostage by the circumstances of life, because the circumstances of life are not the life that you are. You know the life that you are because you visited it. You did your meditations this morning. You're like, yep, I'm good. I am good. The circumstances of life sure would like this, sure would not like that. Sure would like that to stop, sure would like this to start. But I am. I am okay. I am okay. Um, I hope this makes sense. Y'all, please write me and tell me if this is not making sense. And then, okay, so that is as far as sort of like everyday effects of the I am knowledge and the suffering and experience of life, right? That is how you remove suffering, is to realize that suffering does not touch I am, right? To the word suffering, to who I am, to my spirit, to spirit inside of me, is the same thing as the word wet is to the sky. The cloud that is huge and dark and stormy and that bursts and erupts and rains does not get the sky wet. The sky does not go, I'm wet, I'm wet, I'm wet, I'm wet. It does not suffer the clouds. I hope you don't think I'm oversimplifying what is happening in life, but this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. Whatever else you're expecting to change is not going to result in the end of suffering. It's just going to result in a different experience. Right. So that's what you need to know in terms of your day-to-day experience. But this concept of how you are, this concept of I am, to me has an additional layer of beauty that's really, really wonderful. Because let's go deeper into this metaphor of someone who's the spirit who's asleep. Spirit is dreaming that Mary is having coffee with her friend and placing an order with the waitress. Spirit is dreaming this. And when Mary goes inside of her, but Spirit, in this dream, there's Mary. So Mary's like, oh, I am sitting here drinking this coffee with my friend talking to the waitress. But when Mary goes inside and finds the experience of I am, she finds the consciousness that is creating her. And here's the thing though, her friend, Susan, does not have a different consciousness dreaming her. The consciousness that is dreaming Mary is dreaming Susan. It is dreaming the cup of coffee and it is dreaming the waitress. It is dreaming the chair, the table, and the restaurant, the cafe. The place that you're contacting, the consciousness that you're contacting, is in charge of the whole thing. So the beauty of it is you first contact this inside of you and you realize I do not need anything to change. That is, and then you surrender that, you release that Mary-based perspective that Mary is not going to be well until this changes. Mary's not going to be well until this changes. And you go to I am. You go to the Christ consciousness, to the divinity, the I am that I am. And you say, okay, I am well. I am okay. I not even well and okay. I am. Unchanging, complete, undamageable. I am. Unfearful. I am. And that state, you realize it's not going to come all at once, and it doesn't have to come all at once. But if you want to enjoy the concept of it, you realize that I am experiencing Mary. And I am also, I am Mary, I am Susan, I am the coffee, and I am the waitress. You get to the state of consciousness that is the dream, the dreamer of the dream, of every single detail of the dream. And then you realize from that place, and that's why when you touch this place, and the only way to touch this place is to have no desire, because you have no need, because you don't need to be fixed or improved or added to. You get to this place by surrendering all of those desires. And when you surrender those desires, you get to the place that creates the material world that you're interacting with, and that could change the material world. So it shouldn't be your reason for doing this, but when you learn this space. You'll learn that it is a space where reality changes far more quickly and um far more spectacularly than Mary can orchestrate for herself. You know, Mary can add sugar to her coffee and Mary can add milk to her coffee. But I can turn the coffee into juice. It's I am. It's the source of this world. It's the source of this world. I could go on and on and on. But I just wanted to add that to the end of it. But the main point here is, how are you? And you are well. You are complete, content, unlacking, undamaged. And you are always that. And I assure you that the simple little bridges to being meditations, the meditations that I'm sharing, go on the channel, look at the guided meditations playlist. All of those simple little things will help you to understand this reality. And understanding this reality is what's going to change the way you experience the details of your life. It's not going to necessarily change the experience of your life, not yet. It's going to change the experience of your life to I'm not suffering it. And then you're going to be okay. And then from this place of okayness, from this place of releasing the need to change, from that place change occurs. It's a bit, ironic, but it is the way it works. So anyhow, I'm going to stop before I talk myself into a circle. Please let me know what you think about this. Please enjoy the meditation, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the live event and the live sort of question and answer meditation session. And I look forward to seeing you next week. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.